A very good morning to all of you. Today we are going to discuss about the role of space technologies in disaster risk management and reduction in case of emergency response. In the previous class, in the last class, we have discussed the importance of GIS in emergency response management in case of disasters, in case of natural disasters or man-made disasters, how we can use GIS technology. So today we will see the role of space technology in disaster risk management in case of any emergency, in case of forest fire, in case of flood, in case of drought. Any kind of disasters can be easily managed, can be easily mitigated using space technology. So today's topic is very important, and in today's topic, you will see how this remote sensing technology is very much useful in different kinds of disaster risk management and reduction. So before starting the topic, the all the countries like in India and other countries in the world, they are having national space agency. Okay, so national space agency like in India there is a space agency ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. In USA there is a NASA, then European Space Agency. Each and every country having their specific national agency who works in the management of disasters. So the national space agency of any country can assist the national disaster management agencies. Okay, in every country there are some space agency, there are some disaster management agencies. So whatever the information is required to the disaster management agencies in case of disaster management, all this information in terms of satellite images are provided by the national space agencies. So these national space agencies are a major source of information that will be used by the national disaster management agencies. Okay, so what they do early warning system. Means if there was a cyclone is about to come, then they release some early warning, and then rescue, relief, early recovery, and reconstruction and rehabilitation. So these are the four basic phases what a disaster management agency work. Means these works are carried out by the national disaster management agencies, and this can be done by the information provided by the national space agencies in terms of satellite images, in terms of different earth observation data sets, in terms of global positioning system. Whatever the information is required, all information will be provided by the national space agencies. Okay, so this now another important role of space agencies, another important role of this uh, earth observation data sets, earth observation satellites are in the weather forecasting. The meteorological department like Indian Meteorological Department, IMD having different weather satellites. IMD uses different weather satellites to provide the information about the weather. They also works as for the weather forecasting. They will work on the rainfall estimation. That is very much useful in case of flooding. Okay, if someone is working on the flood management, so they need to have accurate rainfall estimation data. What are the medium and long term forecast for the rain, and what is the condition of the cyclone, what is the speed of the cyclone, and how much area will be affected by the cyclone, tsunami. Okay, these information are very much useful for disaster management, and all this information will be collected through some weather satellites. uh, these weather satellites provides us the information about the rainfall, then medium and long term forecasting of the rainfall, the speed and location of the cyclones, tsunamis, and other important information. Okay, so as we know that the entire earth is now covered by earth observation satellites. There are several earth observation satellites who are evolving, who are moving around the earth. So we are getting the you can say there is a entire earth is covered, entire earth is covered by the earth observation satellites, and this information is very much useful in case of any disaster event occurred. Okay, so because of this spatial coverage of the earth by different earth observation satellites, it will be easy to monitor the extent of the disaster, and it will provide you the repetitive coverage of the disasters. Like in case of flooding, you need to have daily data sets. So Earth observation satellites provide you the repetitive information of the flooded area. They will also provide you the repetitive information of the forest fire. In case of if you want to manage the forest fire, this is also a kind of disaster. Okay, estimation of the damage, how much damage was done there, and what is the spatial planning for the reconstruction and rehabilitation and the hazard risk zonation. So all these things can be done. All these things can be easily done by the Earth observation satellites, and these Earth observation satellites are covering the entire Earth. So now we are having the entire spatial information of the Earth, and that information is very much useful in case of any disaster. Okay. So now there are other kind of technologies which is used by the space agencies, that is known as communication satellites. Some satellites doesn't provide the spatial data sets, although they work on the communicating the information. So the communication satellites, as we know that the communication satellites are a kind of geostationary satellites. These geostationary satellites basically used to communicate the information from one place to another place, and it provides the emergency communication services during the disaster. Okay, and all these communication satellites are now very much useful, and like whatever the live matches you watch, whatever the live feed you are watching on your TV, all these things can be done by the communication satellites. So Earth observation satellites are different thing, and communication satellites are different things. These communication satellites are also known as geostationary satellites because they moves with respect to the speed of the Earth rotation. So they are very much useful for communicating the information in terms of news or in terms of video or any other information. Okay, so these all things are very important in case of disaster management. Communication satellites are very much useful as the Earth observation satellites are useful in case of disasters and the management of disasters. Now, global positioning system, as we know that GNSS, Global Navigation Satellite System or Global Positioning System, it's a very important kind of technology. It's an important tool. It's important approach that will provide you the location-based services. It will provide you the location of the disaster, where the disaster occurred. If you want to get the accurate location of the place of disaster, where any kind of disaster occurred, in case of landslide or flood, or in case of forest fire, any kind of disaster is there. So this locational information, the accurate location of that disaster prone area or the area where disaster occurred, this can be provided you by the navigation satellite system or global navigation satellite system. Global navigation satellite system is a broader term, and GPS is considered as a constellation of different satellites, and each and every country having their own navigation system. India is having IRNSS, USA is having GPS, then Russia is having GLONASS. So different countries having their different navigational satellite system, and all these navigational satellites are useful to provide you the accurate and exact information about the location of different disasters, where disasters occurred, and that information is very much useful for the disaster management. So in the figure you see, these are the GNSS satellites. They can provide, they can propagate, the signals can be propagated through the space, and there are some ground stations on the ground. There are some ground stations, or you can say we are having some GPS receivers. This GPS receiver receives the signal coming from the GPS satellites, and again on that basis, on that signal, on the basis of the information provided by the GPS satellite, you will get the exact location of the disaster prone area and where the disaster occurred. So you all are very well aware with the working principle of global positioning system, how it works, how many numbers of satellites are required for that. Okay, you can also install the global positioning system on a moving vehicle, so it will provide you the real-time data, real-time monitoring, and you can move from one place to another place on the basis of that information. So this is another kind of technology that will be provided by the space agencies in terms of exact coordinates, exact location of the features on the Earth surface. Okay, now moving to the next slide. So different space agencies like in India or around the world, they have developed a mechanism, they have developed a framework to allow the humanitarian agencies to get the access to the maps and images. Okay, like USGS, Bhuvan, then there are other websites, European Space Agency. These are the websites, these are the portals through which you can get the maps, you can get the images. Like you can download any of the image of the world using USGS, Earth Explorer. European Space Agency also provides you the images, free images. Bhuvan, ISRO portal, it also provides some images and maps. So space agencies also provides you the geo portal through which you can get the free access to the maps and images that will be very much useful for emergency response. Like MODIS data, MODIS data is very much useful for monitoring the flooding condition, for monitoring the forest fire location. Okay, because MODIS provides you the daily basis data set. You will get the database on daily basis using MODIS satellite, and MODIS data is freely available. So you can use the images of MODIS for getting the real-time monitoring of different disasters, and all these things can be done by the space agencies through some geoportals like USGS, Bhuvan, European Space Agency, and other countries are also having different geoportals through which you can get the satellite images and maps. Okay. So this is a picture. This is the photograph. You can see it's a satellite-based search and rescue program, Ocospace SARSAT. Okay, it's a satellite-based search and rescue program. In short, it is called Ocospace SARSAT. Okay, you can see here these are the interconnected system of different satellites, different kinds of rescue operations can be used, can be provided by the data sets. It's a constellation of different satellites from the Russia, US, France, Canada. Okay, so there is a constellation of satellites. It means each and every country having multiple satellites, they are having different satellites, and this program is a constellation of different kinds of satellites from different countries. So it will used as a integrated framework. It will be used as an integrated communication framework that will be useful in case of rescue or in case of search operation for any disasters. Okay, so in India there are also having some these kind of programs. These programs means it is the integrated approach of different satellites from different countries, so you will get the more detailed information about any disaster. Okay, so real-time data for any kind of weather condition, real-time data set for meteorological conditions can be provided by the Megatropicase. Megatropicase is a satellite mission to study the water cycle in the tropical atmosphere in the context of the climate change. So Megatropicase is a satellite launched by Indian Space Research Organization and French Centre National des Spécialistes, CNES. CNES is the space agency of the France, and ISRO is the space agency of India. Megatropicase is a satellite launched by the collaborative effort of ISRO and CNES, and it was launched on October 2012. Okay, so this satellite provides us the meteorological data sets. These satellites provides us the real-time data set for any kind of climatic change, any kind of water cycle in the tropical atmosphere. Okay, so the satellites, the Earth observation satellites are the eyes in the sky. So this is the entire disaster management framework. We can have different national damage and loss assessment reports, and on that basis we can have different provisional damage and loss assessment reports and records. Then on the basis of different records, when we combine different assessment reports of the disasters, or at all tiers of national disaster management framework. The availability of reliable data on spatial reference is of paramount importance for right decision making. When we are working on disaster management, the disaster risk reduction, so we need to have an integrated framework through which we can have the reliable data sets on having spatial reference that will be very much important for making any decision. Okay. Disaster prevention, there is an international agreement that investment in prevention and mitigation before an emergency will reduce the cost of recovering afterwards. Australia has estimated that every dollar spent on disaster mitigation saves at least $3 in economy and the social recovery. And International Federation of the Red Cross Society, Red Cross is the international society, they has estimated that 40 billion US dollars had been has invested in mitigation measures in 19 before worldwide. And the World Bank has estimated that by spending 1% of the structure's value on the vulnerability reduction, it can be measures that can reduce the probable maximum loss from hurricanes on the average by a third. So these are some estimated costs in case of disaster prevention. So now we are going to see what is the role of remote sensing and GIS and disaster management. As all we know that during the last few decades, remote sensing technology have developed, and we are having different Earth observation satellites that will be helpful for providing the information about the droughts, flood, due to their speedy reach and coverage. Remote sensing satellites have different sensors. It may have panchromatic sensors, multispectral sensors. It is also having some Earth observation sensors like microwave sensors. All these sensors have the application in disaster mitigation. And for example, the thermal sensor, the thermal remote sensing is very much useful for forest fire mapping. Microwave sensors can be very much useful for soil moisture estimation for flood mapping, because in flood mapping, optical sensor doesn't work because of the cloud cover. So for flood monitoring, for flood mapping, we will have microwave sensors that is very much useful. And nearly all kinds of the disasters like earthquake, volcanoes, tsunami, forest fire, and floods can be remotely sensed using the Earth observation satellites or remote sensing satellites. So this is the role of remote sensing in GIS, and you can see these are different satellites in different, you can say, Earth observation satellites, spaceborne, then airborne, and ground-based satellites. So depending on the platform for different sensors, it may have different kinds of applications. The spaceborne platforms, the spaceborne sensors are very much useful for getting the larger coverage on the Earth's surface. Airborne platforms are having platforms as a aircraft or aeroplane, balloon. There are some ground-based platforms are also there. As we know that platforms are of three types: ground-based, air-based, and spaceborne. Okay, so depending on the elevation, depending on the platforms, whatever the platforms we are using for different Earth observation sensors, it may have different applications. It is all, these things are very well known to you. So remote sensing data can be effectively utilized to understand the following measures, like in case of floods and landslide. Okay, in case of flood and landslide, it will provide you the locations, it will provide you the coastal resources, including the mangrove forest. Environmental impact assessment can be done, and monitoring of the rapid processes of the erosion sedimentation. It will be helpful to map the coastal configuration, bathymetry, navigation channels. Crop area estimation can be done for using remote sensing satellites. It will be helpful for monitoring the snow cover, that will be very much useful for estimating the snowfall and rainfall. And we can use the remote sensing satellites, we can use the data sets provided by the Earth observation satellites for glacial related hazards, for studying the glacial related hazards, and it will be helpful for the development of regional glacier database. So remote sensing and GIS technology can be used in disaster prevention in different fields. Okay. It can be also utilized in case of earthquake. We can identify the structural trends, folds, major faults, and lineaments. And by using Earth observation technology, by using different satellites, we can easily analyze the landforms of different origins. It can be useful for monitoring the landforms, and also it will be helpful for preparing the maps of different kinds of terrain. Forest fire can also be studied using Earth observation technologies, especially thermal remote sensing. Thermal remote sensing provide us the data that will be helpful for mapping and monitoring the forest fire. Drought monitoring can also be done. Drought affected area can also be mapped using Earth observation technologies. Okay, infrastructure planning, remote sensing can also be useful in infrastructure planning for locating the appropriate sites for the construction of dams, bridges. It will be helpful for selecting the suitable land corridor for railway line, highways. It will be used for analyzing the dynamic nature of the erosion and infrastructure mapping through the satellite technology. High resolution remote sensing data sets, high resolution images can also be used for infrastructure mapping, for detailed infrastructure mapping like ICONOS, QuickBird, WorldView. These high resolution images can be useful for detailed infrastructure mapping for any kind of urban planning and urban management activities. Disaster preparedness. So in case of emergencies, emergency can happen anywhere, and we know that at any time there may be some emergency. So in case of any emergency, disaster preparedness can be done by remote sensing and GIS. It will be helpful to circulate the warning. The best protection in any emergency is to prepare for the unexpected and known what to do. This will help in controlling the situation better. If you will get the prior information about any disaster, so it will help you to work for the prevention. It will help you to work for the preparing yourself to be safe from that disaster. Okay, so this will helpful in controlling the situation better and allow to recover more equally. The disaster preparedness phase, GIS is a tool for the planning of evacuation routes, for the design of the centers for emergency operation, and for merging of satellite data with other relevant data in the design of disaster warning system. Okay, so these are the role of remote sensing and GIS in disaster preparedness. High resolution remote sensing images, high resolution satellite data sets can be useful to show the potential changes that might occur between the acquisition dates before and after disaster. Okay, high resolution images offers good opportunities, good possibilities for the earthquake damage assessment. You can get the images before the earthquake and after the earthquake, and you can easily assess the damage. You can easily assess how many houses have been damaged during that earthquake, and it will be a kind of multidisciplinary approach that is based on the spatial analysis. So accurate information such as hospitals, different health centers, schools, government buildings, police stations, fire stations is very much useful in case of any emergency planning and response measurement. In case of earthquake, you should have accurate information about the location of hospitals, location of different health centers, and the shortest route, so you can easily reach to the hospital. That will be helpful for saving the lives of the person in case of earthquake. So all these things can be done using remote sensing and GIS. Disaster relief, then rehabilitation and construction. This technology, remote sensing technology, helps to immediate relief and long-term development. Satellite remote sensing helps in the estimation of the damaged infrastructure. It will be helpful for analyzing the severity of vital services that is required to any community. It will be helpful for undertaking the detailed damage need assessment and the urban development planning. So these are the several applications, space applications in different sectors. How this space technology, how this Earth observation technologies can be helpful in different sectors. Okay, so it can be very much useful in natural disasters. It will be helpful for monitoring and forecasting different hazards. Then this remote sensing technology will be helpful for preparing the maps and the management of different kinds of hazard. Damage assessment can be done in affected area. You can assess the damage because of any natural hazard, and it can be helpful for mapping the flood prone area in case of flooding. Okay, so it is also helpful for agriculture sector. Using remote sensing technology, you can easily estimate the crop area, crop yield, and production can be forecasted. And this remote sensing technology will helpful for the crop yield estimation. That will be very much useful for food security, and it will provide you the information for better planning for cropping of different crops. So you will get the information that how this land is suitable for a particular crop. It will help you to make the proper cropping pattern in case of that area on the basis of the meteorological condition, on the basis of the water availability, on the basis of the soil type. It will provide you the information that which crop is suitable for a particular area, so you can grow that crop in that area. It is very much useful in hydrology. It will be helpful for snow cover mapping and runoff estimation in case of snow melt. It will also helpful for mapping for estimating the precipitation and the moisture, and the surface energy balance and evapotranspiration can also be estimated using space technology or earth observation satellite data sets. Coastal zone application, remote sensing, GIS technology, earth observation techniques can also be helpful for coastal zones. That will be helpful for assessing the resources in the coastal area, and also you can assess the environmental impact in case of coastal areas, like soil erosion, coastal erosion, sedimentation, the rate of sedimentation. You can also estimate the sediment load in the coastal areas. That space technology is very much useful for mapping the coastal configuration, the navigation channels, and the landforms in case of coastal area. So it is having wider application in the coastal zones for accessing the coastal resources and for monitoring and mapping the erosion and sedimentation in case of coastal area. Geology and exploration. Okay, geology and exploration can also be done by using the earth observation technologies. Using earth observation technologies, especially the interferometric SAR datasets. Interferometric SAR datasets can be helpful for identifying the structural changes, folds and faults, lineaments in case of geological point of view. Geological mapping for potential hydrocarbon zone can also be done by remote sensing technology, and this earth observation images, earth observation technology can be very much useful for selecting and identifying the potential mineral sites. You can get the information about the potential site, potential location for any kind of mineral. That can be done by hyperspectral remote sensing. Hyperspectral remote sensing provides us the information about what kind of minerals are there in that area, and what is the spectral signature of different kinds of minerals that may be present in that area. That will be helpful for the selection of potential sites for a particular mineral. So this can be done by hyperspectral remote sensing because it provides you the exact information about the spectral signature. It will helpful for getting the exact spectral signature of different minerals. It is having more than 200 bands. So if we are getting more number of bands, so definitely it will provide you the more improved, more enhanced spectral information that will be helpful for identifying and discriminating different minerals. So it will helpful for selecting the potential site for a particular mineral. So geology and exploration can also be done by earth observation technologies for different applications. It is very much useful for civil engineering. Okay, in case of any construction, in case of any kind of infrastructural development, remote sensing and earth observation technologies are very much useful for the preparation of the soil maps. It will be helpful for preparing the land use land cover map. That information may be very much useful for urban planning, urban mapping. Urban growth analysis can also be done on the basis of land use land cover maps of multi-temporal data sets. It will be helpful for locating the appropriate sites for the dams, bridges, and the airports. Okay, so you can take the help of Earth observation technologies, especially the high resolution images. High resolution remote sensing images are very much useful for locating or for identifying the appropriate sites for the construction of any dam or bridges. It will be helpful for selecting the suitable land corridors for railways, highways, and the pipelines. So it is also having wider application in civil engineering, in case of any construction of infrastructure or development of urban area, urban planning. Okay. Geographical information system in combination with Earth observation technologies. Okay, the integrated approach of remote sensing and GIS can be very much useful for infrastructure mapping through the satellite technology. It will be helpful for mobile irrigation service and vehicle tracking and the fleet management. So this integrated approach of remote sensing and GIS means the remote sensing and geographical information system will be helpful for vehicle tracking and fleet management. It will also provide you the mobile irrigation system that will be helpful for getting the information about the irrigation status of an area using some mobile survey that is enabled with the GPS. That information will be helpful for getting the accurate irrigation irrigated information about that area. Glaciology can also be potential application of the space technology, space Earth observation technologies, Earth observation data sets, any kind of remote sensing data sets, optical or microwave data sets can be useful for the estimation of the variation in the glacier zones. Glacier area can be mapped using Earth observation satellites. It will be helpful for studying the indicators that may be related to the glacier hazards. And also we can develop a regional glacier database using multi-temporal data sets of that area. Multi-temporal images of the glacial area can be used for the development of regional glacier database. Okay, so remote sensing Earth observation technology is very much useful in glaciological studies, in glaciology. WebGIS and software development. Now, WebGIS is a kind of technology that will be helpful to provide the maps on the website. Whatever the maps you have prepared, whatever the information, whatever the database you are having, you can you can publish your database on the website through the WebGIS. And also it will provide you the facility for the development of new softwares. You can develop new tools, new softwares, new kind of GIS techniques using WebGIS and software development. It's a multi-tier application, and it is an integration of external gadgets that data connectivity with the multiple servers, RS and GIS customized front end with third-party integration feature. So WebGIS and software development can also be done using the integrated approach of remote sensing and GIS that will provide you the facility so that you can customize your software as per your requirement. You can develop new tools, you can develop new algorithms in any software, in any remote sensing and GIS software, in any tool. Okay. Space technology application, a spatial multi-criteria decision analysis approach can be used for the selection of potential sites for the dam and water reservoir. So for the construction, if you are going to construct new dam, if you are going to construct some infrastructure related to the water resources, so the spatial multi-criteria decision analysis can be helpful for providing you the information that will be helpful for selecting the potential site for the construction of dam or any kind of reservoir. Remote sensing, Earth observation technology, remote sensing technology, or different kinds of high resolution data sets can be used for 3D terrain mapping. When we integrate Earth observation data sets with digital elevation model. Digital elevation model helps us to prepare the 3D map of an area that will provide you the terrain information, and this 3D information is very much useful for geological information, and this information can also be useful for the structure of the terrain. That will be a important decision mapping of digital mapping of large and inaccessible areas. Thus it can save the time and the cost. Especially this 3D terrain mapping is very much useful in you can say the hilly area. If you want to get the exact terrain information, so you need to prepare the 3D map of that hilly area. That 3D information will be helpful for getting the information about different geological features, different glaciological features. It will also provide you the location of different construction sites in that hilly area or terrain. Okay, so 3D mapping can also be done by the Earth observation technologies, but this 3D mapping can be done by integrating the digital elevation model. Digital elevation data or DEM data can be helpful for such kind of 3D mapping activities, 3D mapping of the terrain, especially in case of hilly area or mountainous regions. These are some applications of Earth observation technologies in case of disaster management, disaster mitigation, and today we have discussed how this remote sensing technology, how Earth observation satellite data sets is very much useful for different management practices, different management and mitigation strategies in case of any disaster. So thank you very much for today's class, and then we will meet again in the next class with next lecture. Thank you.